were not forewarned in any capacity that we would be sharing a locker room. And so the swimming locker room, it's not necessarily a place of modesty. You've grown up swimming, especially when you're at the elite level that we were. You put these suits on that are like skin tight. It takes like 15 minutes to put these suits on. So it's a process to which, of course, you have to be undressed. But as a girl growing up in that environment, you become okay with being vulnerable in that situation because everyone there is in the same situation. And it's a place of chatter. You get to see your friends from all over the country who you haven't seen in so long. And so I was in the locker room, obviously putting my suit on, and all of a sudden it got dead silent. I turn around, this person's towering over every other person in the locker room, drops the clothes, full male, like a fully intact male with male genitalia. And almost subconsciously, you just cover. Like, it's just a subconscious inherent feeling when you see a male with male parts watching you undress. It was like, I thought I was missing something. I thought, am I like not grasping something? Why is no one talking about this?
Okay, so we have an interesting story today. I think it's a bit hilarious and enlightening at the same time, because I think a lot of people are going to learn from this. They're going to learn some stuff that I already knew. But the people who run the World Cup Swimming Association, however it works, the people in charge of this open a special category for transgenders. And guess what? The transgender swimmers weren't interested. So we know all about the last several years how transgenders have dominated in sports when they actually competed. We've seen the videos of this man playing rugby with a bunch of women and his freak brainwashed teammates out there screeching, protecting him. We seen that interview up from that lady, the UFC lady who got knocked the F out fighting a man in a UFC fist fight, which was insane. That woman, she was giving an interview and she wasn't even all there. She was still out of it, and at the same time, she was still trying to tiptoe around the issue about fighting this man because she was afraid, even though her brain was still scrambled, she was still afraid to say what she wanted to say because she knew that she'd get counseled. We know about this Olympic weightlifter guy. He broke the record by a long shot, completely shattered the women's weightlifting record because we have a man who was mediocre in the men's category, but he decided to compete with women, destroy them, take their record, and win their prize money. You talk about the patriarchy, all these leftists out here talking about feminism, all men are trying to tell us what to do, men are trying to take our stuff, but you have these mentally ill freaks, these men who pretend to be women. They go into women's business, women categories, dominate women, take women's prize money, and these leftists have nothing to say about it. And obviously, we know about the most famous transgender athlete, Leah Thomas, because of last year. Leah Thomas went down there to Atlanta in the NCAA swimming championship and completely dominated. This man was a middle of the road swimmer as a man, but he decided to play dress up, and these leftist fools let him compete against women, and he completely destroyed them. Annihilated those girls. They had no shot at all. But like I said, the governing body over World Cup swimming decided, okay, this is too much, this is too far, because if we allow this man to join, maybe another man is going to join. Next thing you know, the only people standing on the podium at the end of the competition, the people who we are saying are the winners, are just going to be a bunch of men, a bunch of freaks. And all of the women are going to be completely shut down. So what they decided to do first, they said, well, if you didn't transition and start on chemicals, puberty blockers by 12 years old, then you're not allowed to go. But a lot of people thought that wasn't even far enough, because by saying that you need to transition by 12 years old, it could incentivize people who have future plans in athletics to start the transition as early as possible, especially those who have parents who are trying to push their children into certain sports. Those parents may buy into this trans ideology, and they'll push their 11, 10-year-old sons into becoming chemically castrated and eventually actually castrated at a very early age so they can compete against women later on. And the body was saying it's very unlikely that we're going to have any men in here because almost no one transitions before they're 12 years old. But the mob went after them. The mob went after this governing body. So, in an effort to appease everybody, they said, we're going to create an open category. We have the women's category, we have the men's category. So, we're going to create a third category where anybody can go. So, if you're a mentally ill freak, if you're a transgender person, if you're a man claiming to be a woman and you actually believe that because you've been brainwashed and people around you just encourage you to believe it, if you're one of those people, you don't have to compete against women. You don't have to deal with the backlash. You don't have to deal with the ridicule. You can just join the open category. It'll be people just like you, a bunch of trans people. They could be trans women or trans men. All of y'all can get into this open category and do your thing without any ridicule. And come to find out that these trans people didn't give a F. No one cared because let's look at this headline. Water sports governing body forced to cancel trans division swimming competitions after no one enters. So y'all are learning pretty quickly that it wasn't about the backlash. It wasn't about the ridicule. These people didn't give a damn about that. These men who said that they were women, all they wanted to do was get some clout on social media and take over women's sports. They wanted people to pat them on the back and to reinforce their mental illness that they really are women, which is what they believe. And of course, they wanted to take scholarships and prize money from women. It was never about, let me just do my own thing. Let me just be an athlete. I'm going to go out here and swim and do my best and nobody's going to say anything bad about me. I'm just going to act like a normal person. No. These people wanted to take the spotlight. Look at what Leah Thomas did. They said he was always a quiet person, off to himself. Like I said, he was a middle of the road swimmer. He was an average swimmer, nowhere near elite. But when he said he was a woman, all of a sudden he's in a spotlight. He's on ABC, CBS getting interviews. He got millions of brainwashed idiots on social media reinforcing this wicked ideology. He's getting all types of pat on the back. Look at what he did. Completely dominated those girls, humiliated those girls. He was able to go into the women's locker room where these girls are exposed. They're naked. And he was able to go in there and completely expose himself. He went in there with the twig and berries out. A bunch of women, a bunch of college age girls on a swim team. Because he said he was a woman, these leftist fools who run these institutions, because college institutions are always run by leftists. These leftist fools allowed a man to go in there and expose himself to a bunch of young women. And the young women had to shut the F up about it because if they said anything, they were going to be canceled. Look at what happened to Riley Gaines. So let's read about what's going on. World Aquatics, the international governing body of world sports, canceled debut events in its open category for self-identified transgender swimmers after no competitors registered. Surprise, surprise. The World Aquatics Swimming World Cup, starting this week in Berlin, had planned to include a new open category division in the 50-meter and 100-meter races of all strokes that will welcome competitors of either sex who identified as transgender. And now these fools, they haven't learned yet, but eventually they're going to learn that these transgender individuals aren't interested. It's not about going into an open category and just let me do my own thing and let me compete at a high level as an athlete. It's not about that. It's about confirming their mental illness. So a man says, you have to let me compete against women in order for me to further believe that I am a woman. Look, I'm competing against women. That means I am a woman. I just beat all these women. I'm hanging out in the locker room with the women. When I look on TV, they got my name listed as a woman. So that reinforces their mental illness. And on top of that, they love when people oppose them because they can go play the victim. They can bitch and whine about it. And then they'll have people patting them on the back and hugging them and giving them encouragement, saying, well, F those people, they're evil, you're doing the right thing, you go girl. That's all they're looking for. And on top of that, the prize money, obviously. Following the close of registration for the open category, World Aquatics can confirm that no entries have been received for the open category events, the federation stated. In 2022, World Aquatics adopted policies that would only permit male swimmers in women's events if there was sufficient proof that they transitioned before age 12 or the puberty stage known as Turner Stage 2. How about this? How about instead of going through all this BS, well, let's show your medical documents. What was your testosterone level? Let's go through it with a fine tooth comb. Let's look at your entire history of everything that's going on. Let's look at interviews from people and let's look at it. How about we just say, if you're a man, you compete with men. If you're a woman, you compete with women. Why are you making this overly complicated? This governing body needs to realize you will never appease these people. You try to compromise with them, say, well, you need to be trans before you're 12. Okay, we have an open category. They don't care. Stop trying to appease these people. Come out and say, look, if you're a man, compete with men, and if you don't like it, get the hell out of here. How about that? They're going to bitch and whine on the internet. People going to protest and cry. Who cares? Let them. The Swimming Federation permits females to compete in men's categories, although the athletes must sign waivers to participate in water polo and high diving. Well, that's one problem that we don't have. What we don't have are women trying to compete against men. We don't have women who are saying that they're men, you know, those trans men. We don't have those type of people trying to enter the male category because they know they'll be dominated. They know the truth about it. What we have, the problem that we have, are a bunch of men who are not that good going against men, so they want to jump in a women's category. Like the UFC guy, that Fox guy, Fallon Fox, whatever the hell his name is, wants to sit there and fight a woman. Pathetic, man. The female athletes seeking to compete in the men's division must also meet the federation's doping regulations. Female athletes can compete in women's categories if they took testosterone for less than 1 year outside of puberty, and if their testosterone levels have returned to pre-treatment normal levels. Y'all doing too much, man. All this testosterone testing. We got to see your history. What you've been. No. If it's a man, he's a man. Like, stop all this. Classifying athletes on the basis of sex is necessary to meet World Aquatics' goal for female aquatics athletics in the women's competition category, the Federation stated in 2022. World Aquatics eligibility standards for the women's category are narrowly tailored so that they can achieve those goals without unnecessarily limiting participation by gender diverse athletes. What the hell does that mean, gender diverse? Anyways, although there will not be an open category for self-identified trans swimmers at the upcoming competition in Berlin, World Aquatics has not entirely eliminated the division. They haven't learned yet because they're still trying to get a pat on the back from the left. They want all of these activist freaks and these trans freaks to go out there and celebrate these people. Say, look, please don't cancel us. We had an open category. We allow trans people to come in if you trans before 12. Please don't cancel us. Please don't yell at us. Please don't protest because we tried to appease you. We said that we're on your side. Please don't cancel us. The World Aquatics Open Category Working Group will continue its work and engagement with the aquatics community on open events, the Federation stated. Even if there is no current demand at the elite level, the working group is planning to look at the possibility of including open category races at Masters events in the future. In 2022, the University of Pennsylvania nominated male swimmer William Leo Thomas, a self-identified, at least the article got this part correct, a self-identified transgender woman for the 2022 NCAA Woman of the Year Award. Thomas won the NCAA Women's Championship in a 500-yard freestyle. And this is one of the things these people like. William Thomas, won the women's championship. So he has this mental illness. He has some type of, it's like a mental illness mixed with some type of fetish where these certain type of men, like Dylan Mulvaney also, has this fetish where they like to see themselves as women. That's why they like to dress up a certain way and behave a certain way. So they like to see themselves as women. And adding something like this to an article, allow him to read this, it kind of helps boost his fetish and reinforce his mental illness. Look at me. I'm a woman. I won the women's championship. But this is all nonsense, all BS. Funny as hell because these people at the governing body, this World Cup swimming governing body, completely wasted their time. they had hopes that transgender people will actually enter this open category. The transgender people said, hell no, we're not doing this. If I'm a man who says I'm a woman, then I'm competing with women. Damn your open category. But hey, let me know what y'all think. Leave me your thoughts down in the comments below. Share the video. Thanks for watching.
You know,